Have you ever asked yourself what monks would think of the modern world?
3, 2.
You may think of monks living in deep isolation somewhere out in the wilderness, only eating a few grains of rice and staying silent for years at a time. And while that may be true, that's not how all of them operate. Some maintain relationships with the outside world and communicate with people in their village, etc., to share their spiritual teachings and enlightenment. In today's video, I want to talk about this idea of a modern monk. Like, what would a monk, a proper monk, based on my definition, be doing in the world today? Would they be living out in the mountains of Tibet or Wyoming or southern Chile? Or would they be on social media trying to share whatever teachings they are able to, right? So in my opinion, the modern monk today is, a podcaster, has a YouTube channel, is trying to promote a message, that is true to them, but also to as many people as possible. That's always the idea, to change the world for the better, right? We want these huge grassroots movements of positive change, right? And for the first time ever, we have the internet. We have social media where you can reach, 100 million people with one video, which is kind of unbelievable. So I think the modern monk would do just that. They would focus on self-improvement, focus on, how to increase your relationship with nature or God or whatever you consider to be the divine, but something like that has to be the focus. This is my definition of the modern monk. Monks live really difficult lives. They do survive on very little food and are fasting a lot of the year and enter into these deep vows of silence. Actually, as a tangent, I've taken a short vow of silence before because I felt like the beauty of the world was too much for language. I couldn't communicate it. The people that I was communicating it to wouldn't appreciate the message. So I've been there, but then I got thinking. I was like, wait, am I just gonna stay silent forever? Like, I've so much I want to say. I mean, I want to put out positivity in the world. Language is the best way to do that. So that's a short tangent on some of the difficulties of being a traditional monk. So I asked myself, what ways can we implement monk-like principles into our lives? We often hear about this term monk mode, right? And I don't know if I really like that, just because it's been like overhyped and dominated by a few YouTubers. But there is this idea of focus and obsession and concentration that monks are obviously associated with and exemplify, that I think everyone, whether you're a founder or trying to build your own brand, whatever it may be, could benefit from. Fasting, like monks fasted. That was one of their main pillars of how they reached spiritual salvation. I think it has something to do with the cleansing of the body. When you're just constantly putting stuff in you and have just this overabundance, you start eating at noon and stop eating at 6 and have this, fasted window, and your body's able to go into periods of autophagy, which promotes cell recovery and clean out broken DNA and misgenerated proteins, all these kind of amazing benefits just from restricting your eating to a particular period of the day. And when you go on extended fasts, there are even more profound benefits. So that's one idea that I think monks would agree with. Number 2 is having a relationship with your own mind, right? I think it's almost necessary as a precursor to have a healthy, functioning, well-observed, if I may add, mind before you establish one with whatever your conceptualization of the divine is. It's necessary to have a proper relationship with your own mind, an understanding and clarity to your thoughts before you establish a relationship to whatever your conceptualization of the divine is. I think monks would agree with this. This is why they have long periods of fasting, why they have long periods of silence where they sometimes write. Like, for me, writing is a huge part of this journey with maintaining a healthy relationship with my mind. It's the only way I can get myself to stop just firing ideas off all the time, and I can actually sit and be at peace. Like, once I write those ideas down, they're out of my head and I can actually have some quiet, and then you can kind of go deeper and figure out who you are, whatever it may be. So that's another thing I think monks might agree with. And the third thing I want to talk about is just this idea of focus in general, right? I'm guilty of it, being on YouTube Shorts, whatever, but there is so much, there's so many different things vying for your attention nowadays. And it's almost like your attention is the only thing you actually have control over, right? So it's your choice. So when I go on YouTube, I make a choice, whether it's conscious or not, to watch, Succession highlights, which is a great show, or watch some math related video, watch some finance related video, something that, will help me, further with my career or further with my spiritual salvation, whatever it may be. So I'm just saying that there is a choice you make every single day, every moment almost, what to do with your attention, whether that attention is thoughtful, focused. These are things that I think you should think about and really apply to everything you're doing. Like, it's Dwight Schrute's line, would an idiot do this? And if they would, I wouldn't do it. But it's like, would a monk do this? Well, would a monk be scrolling on TikTok? I know they've hacked the algorithm to get into the deepest parts of your brain and tap into those dopamine circuits, and you have to resist that, because that's what separates you, right? Like, you can go on those short stints, but you have to maintain the clarity to work on whatever you're working on later on. And I think this is my theory about social media and why it's going to be much more difficult for people to start anything that takes a long time to build, is that through social media, we're being attacked for our dopamine in a lot of ways. We're trying to get it out of us as fast as possible, and it results in these very fast feedback loops in between what you are doing and the response that you get to it. So like when you're building a business, or when I'm trying to build this YouTube channel, it's gonna take like years. It's gonna take a long time for anything meaningful or significant to come out of it, which is completely antithetical to what you do every day. So if you're swiping and scrolling and getting used to these fast action feedback loops, and then you try to go do something difficult that's gonna take it's going to take 15, 20 years to build Amazon, right? If you want to do something significant in your life, it's going to take a lot of time. And my argument is that social media corrupts your ability to do that. It corrupts your ability to focus and persevere through things. I feel like it's done this for me, and I'm trying everything I can to get my focus back. Hence the point of this video. I mean, what would a modern monk do? What would a monk do? It's what I'm trying to figure out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you did, right? Why else am I making it? I'm not making it for myself. I mean, in some ways I am, but I hope you enjoyed regardless. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and comment if you don't. Like, I want to hear what you guys want to watch, right? I am doing this for myself, one, to learn about different topics and go throughout the creative process, but I want to build a community of people that are inspired to, one, achieve their greatest self physically, financially, emotionally, intellectually, but also that spiritual element. Don't let the that's of key concern to me as well. Let's just leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.